here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found.
A strict no-contact order has officially been issued in YNW Melly's case, legally mandating that he and co-defendant Bortlin remain completely cut off from one another. This ruling prohibits any form of communication between the two. Not even discussions through their legal teams are allowed. Prosecutors appear to be using this tactic strategically as they prepare to try Melly and Bortlin together in the upcoming trial. By isolating them, the state may be aiming to pressure Bortlin into cooperating against Melly, hoping that the separation and mounting legal pressure will lead to testimony that strengthens their case. Speculation is intensifying around a critical turning point in the YNW Melly case, as concerns grow that a key individual connected to the trial may buckle under the immense pressure of facing a potential life sentence. Many insiders and observers believe this person could ultimately decide to cooperate with prosecutors by providing testimony against Melly, which would significantly complicate the defense's position. This speculation has emerged at a crucial juncture, coinciding with Melly's legal team filing what they describe as their strongest and final motion for bond, aiming to secure his release ahead of the highly anticipated retrial scheduled for September. Melly's attorneys are optimistic, expressing confidence that the new bond package, backed by detailed plans for house arrest, electronic monitoring, and 24/7 security, demonstrates Melly's commitment to compliance and could sway the judge's decision in their favor. Adding to the growing momentum, Melly's mother has publicly voiced her unwavering faith in her son's innocence, offering emotional support and a hopeful outlook amid the turmoil. She has been a visible figure throughout the legal battle, consistently advocating for her son and rallying his supporters. Her recent statements reflect not only her personal conviction, but also a broader desire for this difficult chapter to close, emphasizing the toll the case has taken on their family. Her public support adds a human dimension to the legal proceedings, reminding the public of the personal stakes involved. Should the judge grant bond and Melly be released from jail pending his trial, it would represent a significant development. In a case that has captured widespread national attention, his temporary freedom would allow Melly to more actively participate in his defense and potentially engage with his legal team outside the constraints of incarceration. This could lead to new strategies and opportunities to strengthen his case ahead of the retrial. However, this potential positive turn is shadowed by the looming threat of a cooperating witness. Prosecutors are reportedly working to secure testimony from a close associate of Melly's, whose cooperation could severely undermine Melly's defense and alter the trial's trajectory. The possibility that this key figure might testify against Melly raises the stakes considerably. Cooperation agreements in high-profile criminal cases can be game changers, often providing the prosecution with insider details that are difficult to refute. If this individual chooses to snitch, it could weaken the defense's narrative and increase the likelihood of a conviction. Meanwhile, Melly's legal team must navigate this precarious situation carefully, balancing the hope of release with the reality of a challenging and complex trial ahead. For now, all eyes remain on the judge's forthcoming decision regarding bond, which could mark a pivotal moment in Melly's ongoing legal battle. As his defense prepares for what could be a critical shift, the outcome of this motion will influence the tone and dynamics of the retrial, setting the stage for the next chapter in this high-profile case.
Still praying. I know I said I would I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming.
YNW Melly's legal team has submitted a fresh bond proposal they believe could finally secure his release ahead of trial. This new package includes a bond backed by his record label, 300 Entertainment, demonstrating serious financial commitment and oversight. If approved, Melly would be placed under strict house arrest, outfitted with an ankle monitor, and guarded by 24/7 private security to ensure compliance with all conditions. The proposal is being hailed by some in the industry as nearly airtight. One rapper even tweeted, "That boy Melly coming home, I feel it." In support of the bond request, Melly's mother has come forward with emotional testimony about her son's treatment behind bars, painting a picture of inhumane conditions that strip him of basic dignity. She described the ongoing mental and physical strain he's been subjected to, further reinforcing the defense's claim that he deserves a chance to await trial outside of jail, under supervised and controlled conditions.
Saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to.
In a pivotal development in YNW Melly's ongoing legal battle, his defense team introduced compelling new evidence designed to dismantle the prosecution's timeline and narrative of the crime. Central to this strategy is GPS data that, according to Melly's attorneys, places him outside the vehicle at the time the fatal shootings occurred. The data suggests that, rather than being inside the car where the victims were shot, Melly was captured running down a nearby street, ultimately seeking cover in a bush during the critical moments of the incident. This assertion directly undermines the federal prosecution's long-standing theory that Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demons, was in the vehicle and actively participated in the crime. The government has maintained that Melly orchestrated and carried out a double homicide, targeting his two close friends and fellow YNW members, Juvie and Sack Chaser. According to the original charges, the crime was premeditated and executed from inside the vehicle, with Melly allegedly pulling the trigger. However, the GPS evidence introduced by the defense paints a different picture. If Melly truly was not in the vehicle at the time of the murders, it significantly weakens the claim that he played a direct role in the shootings. His legal team contends that this discrepancy is not a minor detail. It is a fundamental flaw in the prosecution's case, potentially exonerating Melly from the most serious aspects of the charges. Legal analysts have noted that such technological evidence can be incredibly persuasive in court, especially when supported by timestamps and consistent location data. If the GPS tracking is verified and shown to be accurate, it may serve as a cornerstone for the defense's argument that Melly is being wrongfully accused, or at least that reasonable doubt exists regarding his involvement. What makes this development particularly intriguing is how it reframes the entire sequence of events. Rather than being an active participant, Melly's defense paints him as someone who may have been fleeing the scene or attempting to avoid danger. While it remains unclear why he was running or what led him to hide in a bush, the fact that he was not inside the car at the moment of the shooting creates a substantial gap in the prosecution's narrative. Still, questions remain. Prosecutors may argue that Melly's absence from the vehicle doesn't necessarily absolve him of involvement, that he could have played a role in planning or facilitating the crime. Nevertheless, the GPS data shifts the burden back onto the prosecution to provide definitive proof of his physical presence during the killings. In the high-stakes courtroom drama that has unfolded over the past few years, this new evidence could be a game-changer. It adds a layer of complexity and uncertainty to a case that many thought was already decided in the court of public opinion. As Melly's team presses forward, the GPS revelation may very well be their strongest card yet in Siowa's proving his innocence, or at least introducing enough doubt to avoid a conviction.
Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. And you don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone.
In the ongoing legal battle surrounding rapper YNW Melly, prosecutors have intensified their case by bringing forth serious allegations of witness tampering and conspiracy, accusing Melly of attempting to obstruct justice through communications made while incarcerated. Central to the claims is the assertion that Melly used intermediaries, including fellow inmates and gang affiliates, to silence key witnesses ahead of his original trial. His co-defendant, Cortland YNW Bortland Henry, also faces related charges after allegedly trying to influence testimony. Meanwhile, Melly's defense team has introduced GPS data in an effort to cast reasonable doubt, arguing that he was not at the scene of the crime, but rather fleeing on foot and hiding. The stakes are even higher now as the tampering charges, some of which carry the potential for life sentences, are combined with claims that Melly's ex-girlfriend and others are being pressured to testify against him. His mother has publicly decried the conditions of his confinement, stating that he's been denied access to phones, mail, and other basic rights, despite having not yet been convicted. With both sides building their cases and new evidence continuing to emerge, the path forward remains fraught with uncertainty and high tension. During a tense interrogation, investigators pressed YNW Bortland about the inconsistencies in his story surrounding the deadly incident, emphasizing that if the shooting had occurred where he claimed, there would be physical evidence, broken glass, shell casings, something. But nothing matched up. In a pivotal moment, the officer asked Bortland point blank, "If you knew who did this, would you tell me?" Bortland hesitated, then shook his head no, too wary to speak further, perhaps fearing that even his tone or body language might betray a lie. That silence spoke volumes, especially when paired with the rest of the evidence building against YNW Melly. Prosecutors cited a damning text Melly sent just hours after the incident, in which he responded, "I did that," to someone checking on him. Adding fuel to the fire, video footage emerged showing Melly and Bortland just after the alleged murders, celebratory, upbeat, and showing no sign of mourning the loss of their close friends, Sack Chaser and Juvie. Allegations followed that Melly felt no remorse because the deaths may have benefited him financially. Insiders claimed the victims had been pushing for an equal share of YNW's revenue, despite doing little to earn it. Melly had reportedly told King Von that Sack Chaser and Juvie were trying to extort him, subtly hinting at his motive. As the case grows more complex and troubling, financial issues appear to loom as well. Melly's mother trended online after announcing she created a subscription-based account to raise support during her son's ongoing trial, sparking public debate and commentary from figures like DJ Academics. The recent announcement by YNW Melly's mother that she's launching an OnlyFans account has left many stunned and confused, including prominent commentator DJ Academics. He openly questioned the decision, calling it perplexing, especially at a time when her son is literally fighting for his life in court. Academics suggested that some mothers in hip-hop, like Blueface's mom, seem to crave the spotlight just as much as their famous children, hinting that Melly's mother may be seeking her own moment of fame. While he insisted the move couldn't possibly be motivated by money, many fans online disagreed. A resurfaced No Jumper interview from 2 years ago adds more context. Melly's mother and brother discussed how large sums of money had been mismanaged, with Melly allegedly spending heavily on things like jewelry and cars instead of fully investing in legal defense, even though he was behind bars and couldn't use any of it. Despite assurances that legal funds weren't an issue, the family's comments suggest that not every dollar was wisely spent, raising questions about the financial strain they may now be under. Still, some believe the OnlyFans launch could be less about money and more about emotional release, as Melly's mother has visibly struggled with the weight of the last 7 years. She broke down repeatedly during the first trial, and at one point, Melly himself paused to check if she was okay. Whether her decision stems from financial pressure, emotional exhaustion, or a complex mix of both, it adds yet another layer of tension to a case already filled with heartbreak and controversy.